Good afternoon. Welcome to your favorite weekly current affairs program. It is 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Erosa Agbonlaho. I must tell you that this week's edition promises to be very exciting, educative, and enlightening. We'll be looking at matters arising. Under matters arising, we'll be looking at democracy in Nigeria. Has democracy developed in this country? Can Nigerians commend the development of democracy in this country? Joining me to dissect this all-important topic is a lecturer and, of course, a public affairs analyst, Dr. Stanley Edo. Nice to have you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Erosa Agbonlaho.
Okay.
I'm happy to be here this afternoon.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so under matters arising, we're looking at democracy. Just recently, there was an election in Edo State which produced, we saw the re-election of the state governor, Godwin Obaseki. Now, on Saturday, there will be another election in Ondo State where the incumbent will be contesting against the opposition, just like what transpired here. The Edo State scenario was very unique. But looking at democracy, what's your take?
Thank you very much, Mr. Erosa Agbonlaho.
Yes.
Well, in democracy, my stake in this issue is that Nigeria has not actually know what it takes to run a democratically country.
Okay.
Why do I actually say this? I say this because when we talk about democracy,
yes,
democracy itself is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people.
Yes, that's true.
This is what democracy is all about.
Okay.
It has three key elements.
Yes.
Of, for, and by.
Okay, that's true.
But in the case of Nigeria today, these three key elements is absolutely or totally eluded.
How do you mean? When you say eluded, how do you mean?
Well, when I say it is eluded,
Yes.
means the three components that make up the democracy
Yes.
is not recognized.
Okay.
The democracy of the people, and for the people, and by the people, is not recognized in Nigeria today. Okay. Because the people that is supposed to dictate the democracy of the day,
yes,
is not being seen in the hem of Africa.
Well, that's the perception of a section of the country, or perception of a school of thought, or perception of some citizens. But don't you think other citizens believe that the democracy we have in Nigeria now, with your PVC, you can actually elect a candidate of your choice?
Yes, I quite agree with you,
okay,
but not in totality.
Okay.
Because with the PVC, in fact, some of the electorate still set their conscience.
Okay.
In the poly vote.
That's a problem.
You see, this is one thing we are trying to fight against. But the people that are going into the office, the elected office,
yes,
does not want the will of the people to prevail. Because they know that when the righteous is there, the man that can actually deliver democracy,
yes,
for you and me to enjoy the benefit of democracy,
yes,
they will not allow the man to go there. And so, what do? They want to get the power by all means. And different names comes in. If I said it, it must happen. That is where this godfatherism comes into place.
Godfatherism negates democracy.
That is it. That is why I said that it's a three key elements.
Okay.
Because godfatherism has nothing to do with of, by, and for.
Okay.
Because those three key elements is a very key element. It's an essential ingredient. Let me just come in a very simple way.
Okay, so
that
people
maybe
can
people
understand. Yeah.
can actually see.
Okay.
Maybe let me take, for example, a housewife that is cooking.
Okay.
No matter the food, the meat that you put in the soup, if there is no salt, it's tasteless.
That's true.
So also, no matter what they are going to do, when these three elements is not there,
Yes.
no matter they will get the power, it is the people in the common man in the street will not enjoy it. They will not enjoy democracy.
Okay. But let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because you just brought up an issue that triggered my thinking.
Okay.
Now, we know that democracy, the owner of democracy, we are talking about United States. Now, but it's being practiced here in Nigeria. Now, this issue of godfatherism, do you think godfatherism can end in our political, the way we practice our own democracy? Because now, if a young man is interested in a public office, is interested, maybe to become the governor or to become member of the House of Representatives or to become a senator, and this young man, no funds. Now, he needs the backing of an individual who will say, okay, don't worry, I will fund your campaigns. Is that not the kind of person we are referring to now as godfather?
Well, it may not be true. If the man is actually coming up with the sincerity of his mind to actually fund the campaign without expecting anything as a payback. That is, if I sponsor you to be a governor, now I will not dictate what you will do in the states. I will not give you the numbers of slots that you will appoint as your commissioners. Even your aides, I will be the one to dictate it for you.
Okay.
But if those things are out, it is not a godfatherism. Okay. It's just somebody now, like me now, I'm a lecturer. If I said I want to go into politics, but let me clear the air. I don't have any intention of going into politics. Okay, I must clear the air.
Okay,
I don't.
Yes, okay. But you are just analyzing.
I'm just analyzing it.
So please analyze more.
So, if I want to go into it,
okay,
and I see somebody, and I don't have the money to take the phone, but I send my laudable ideas, views to him,
okay,
that if I am given the opportunity, with my wisdom, my knowledge, and the research I have carried out in the educational industry and other places, I will be able to reform the economy. I will be able to reform the society. And he saw it that it's a very laudable idea. Then he decided to put in his money to sponsor me. Without, like what I said, not asking anything for a return. Okay. Then it can go. But at the time, the man said, this is the billion that will put you there, and I know A, B, C, D. Even if we are going to the court, I know A, B, C to Z. That I will buy the judgment. Forget about it. Then this is what I want. Then that becomes what they refer to as
like
the
example you have given now. Probably as a lecturer, you are not able to fund an election. Now, this individual is willing to bankroll, to support. Do you think there's any Nigerian that want to do anything for free? Will they not say, okay, if I support your election and you win, you will appoint this, you will appoint that? Most Nigerians, are they not like that?
That is where we mess it up.
Okay.
We are always after our personal gain.
Okay.
If we can remove that from our mindsets and keep it behind us, for Christ's sake, let us do the right thing at the right time.
Okay.
And so that we let the people know that we are doing this thing. Actually, what is it? This democracy I was talking about, people being elected, they are willing to offer their selfless services without anything attached to it as a remuneration or a kickback, so to say. Then it can go.
Okay. But are you looking at another aspect of this democracy, the type of democracy in Nigeria? We've seen democracy where the actors, those who are interested in being elected, are so desperate to win elections. So how can we solve the problem of desperation?
Well, that is another thing of his own self.
Okay.
You see, actually, the truth is that those going for this elective position, they are actually desperate for the position. They want to do everything
Is it because
within
of the
their
money
power and
involved?
outside their power to ensure that they get the office? Why? Not for your own sake, not for my own sake, but for their own political sake and that of their immediate family. Because they are not going there to act, because if they are going there, they will make the laws that we ensure that this law that we make will favor the common masses. We even favor our grandmothers in the village. But when they get there, they will be talking about how to share the money.
Okay, so
you see, this is the problem.
What you are talking about
now
is that most of our politicians or those who are interested in elective
because
positions,
of the money they are there. They are interested
Is that
in
what
their
you are
pocket.
trying to say?
They are one.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
Mr. Molaho,
Yes.
let's come back.
Okay.
Listen, the primary thing they are there is because of the money. Now, let them amend the Constitution of Nigeria.
Okay.
And say, you, senator,
Yes.
be receiving the salary of a director in the ministry.
Okay. Or of a lecturer.
Of a lecturer.
In the higher
In
institution.
the higher institution.
Yes.
Let any politician come and receive the same salary with me if the politician will go there. He will not.
Okay.
He will not. That is the truth.
Yes.
He will not. We say, what am I doing with it?
Yes.
When even my sitting allowance, we can even pay you for a whole year. That's it. They don't.
So now these are some of the factors militating against the development of democracy. Because we hear that in very advanced countries, sometimes you see a senator riding a bicycle. We've heard of news like that. We've seen social media reports like that, where you see a prime minister who will just queue in the filling station, or who will refill his car himself. We've seen things like that. They are selfless in their own service. They are not interested in personal gains. And they do not see themselves that they are now higher above their citizens. But in Nigeria, we don't see that. We see those in public, those occupying public offices with long convoy. Some don't even obey our traffic regulations. Some beat the traffic. You know, there's a lot of prestige around elective offices. Don't you think probably this could be another factor that is not making the democracy in Nigeria to develop?
Yes, like what you said, you see, when you were saying it just now, I was smiling.
Yes,
because
I
have actually have a bit of it.
Okay.
Precisely in 2015,
yes.
November, when I traveled out of this country
yes.
to Europe and leave for a conference.
Okay.
So after my conference, I went to, because I did my conference in Rome.
Okay.
Then after the conference, I said, let me see my younger ones in the town.
Yes.
So I just told them, I just took the train to Modena.
Okay.
So when I got there, they ushered me in. We had a talk. Then they said, okay, they want to go out. Let's go out. We just went to the supermarket. Do you know that it surprised me? And I said, is it possible for Nigeria to behave like this? Yeah. That the governor of Modena came with a bicycle to the supermarket.
You don't mean it.
And the man has to chain his bicycle outside. Then my brother said, Ipa, please let me use this word, what he said. I'm quoting him. Yeah. Ipa, a governor, a city man here.
Okay, so you must interpret.
Yes. What he said is that, Oga, sir, this man is our governor. You see, nobody recognized him as a governor there.
It was just like an
ordinary man that came to the supermarket, just like myself and my brother that went to buy something. I said, hey, wow, when can Nigeria be like this?
Yes. And they are practicing democracy too.
And these are the people
Yes.
that goes to the foreign countries. They see what is happening there. They see what is happening there, but they don't bring it to play here. This is the problem we have in this country, Nigeria. And that is why our democracy is not growing. And I looked at it. I said, no escort, no policeman. He said, where is the policeman coming from? The policeman that is on his duty post, guided, looking at every other places to follow him. He said, nobody even know him. If the government of this country, the government of the day, can actually look at it where we have missed it, the plan of our forefathers when they were agitating for independence, let us go back to the roots. You know, when you miss a thing, you try to find out where you missed it. Then when you find out where you missed it, you go back to it. You see that you can fly. If Nigeria must fly, let us go back to where we missed it. We all know where we missed it. It's because of this money, the money that is so attached to these offices. Yeah. Make it a lucrative one.
So we have to reduce that issue of making the offices very lucrative.
That's it.
There was a report, even in Ondo, where the governor, the incumbent governor, said, oh, he pays his deputy Abola 13 million. And his deputy Abola said, no, it's not 13 million. It's, okay, so he pays him 12 million.
12 million.
The deputy governor, Abola said, no, it's not 12 million, it's 11 million. You know, just a difference. The argument there is of $1 million. Now, like you said, if they pay them the salary of a permanent secretary or salary of a director or salary of a lecturer, probably the system can change.
The system can change.
I know that's the point you are canvassing now.
You see, the excess money can be used for investments that will create a job for the timid Nigerian that is outside there. We have in the Polytechnic in my school, we are producing a lot of graduates every year. University of Benin is producing graduates, turning out graduates. AAU turning out graduates. Other institutions, higher institutions, they are turning out graduates. Where are they working? But if we reduce their own salary,
the remuneration of these
political office holders,
yeah.
You will see that whatsoever we are getting from there as the SS, does it not baffle you for somebody? As he said, he is the highest deputy governor in the country. That's what he said. To receive such amounts. How many years before the lecturer will retire? How many years can it take to collect that money for? How many years for what's one man's salary for a month? You know what I mean? Somehow.
You are talking about the Ondo situation.
Yes, that is what the Ondo situation is.
Because there's a crisis.
Yes, that will not make the revelation known.
And
yes, that will not make the revelation known. If not before now, why things they were romancing like husband and wife, things were not actually like that.
Yes.
Nobody never knew.
Yes.
But when things now fall apart, he said, if you must not follow me, then I must expose you. That is where we are. And for this sake, like what I said again, democracy cannot work in this way. Let us go back. What actually do we actually need? Yeah. There are people there in the streets that actually have something to contribute. That are innovative, creative,
intellectual.
That's it. But they are not given the opportunity. This excess money, what can you produce? I can produce this. Okay, take this for a start. Let's see. We have people even doing in the production industry. Let us encourage them so that their turnout can increase. That's it. But this is what we are supposed to be enjoying in our democracy in Nigeria. Yeah. But the reverse is the case.
So we keep hearing of the word dividends of democracy. During electioneering period, most of these Nigerians who are aspiring want to occupy public offices, a campaign, and they always tell the voters, oh, I will ensure that the dividends of democracy gets to you. That's by inference, it means democracy has dividends.
Yes, certainly.
So How do we develop our democracy so that the people can really enjoy these dividends?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You see, during the electionary campaign,
Yes.
the office holder that are vying for the position,
Yes.
they will make all promises. They actually know
Okay.
that there is a dividend of democracy.
Yes.
This dividend of democracy is what the common man in the streets can benefit from. That is what they are telling them. It is their own right to. Let's get it clear.
Yeah, okay.
It is their own right. They are not telling them that I want to give to you.
That is the citizens now.
It is the citizens'
okay,
right.
the rights of the citizens.
The citizen said, you want to give me my right. My own legitimate right.
Yes.
You want to give it to me back. That is what they are telling them. And
So
excuse me.
okay.
And it is the duty, the
Yes.
primary duty of the government
Okay.
to tie the road.
I was just going to that aspect. Okay.
To tie the road,
Yes.
to make the road. I was coming just now, and there was a hold up that had me on the way.
Yes.
But if there was no hold up, I mean, I would have a smooth drive to this place.
So all governments in the country must ensure that what is due the citizens are given
to them. Fine.
Okay.
That is for the people to actually enjoy the benefits of this democracy.
So if a particular government says, oh, I want to inaugurate this road, he has not done anything spectacular. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Because even construction of roads
and
is part of the rights
it's
of the
a part of
people.
the right of the citizen.
So if you...
Because the money is allocated for it.
Okay.
The money is allocated for it. Today, the President Muhammad Buhari,
Yes.
is presenting his 2021 budget to the combined legislators.
Yes. National Assembly.
Yes, national assemblies. Then you will see the money that will be voted for it.
For different sectors.
Different sector. Education will have their own,
Okay.
agricultural will have their own, power will have their own, housing estate, and all, health, everything, just name them. Everything will have their own sector or their own allocations. But, and this money that is voted for it is supposed, I use the word suppose,
Yes.
to be used for the people. Let them actually get it. But they don't use it for them. They don't. They have different type of names of companies which they ascribe, locate, award the contract to. Which is not good for democracy. And
Yeah.
democracy can never work. Democracy can never work. And for that simple reason, the benefit, even if they say they are constructing road, look at, let's just take, let's take our mind back to Saple Road at Owege there, after bypass there. We know how many times FEMA has done work there, but that place has always failed. What prevents them from giving it a permanent solution? What prevents the government? Is it that we don't have money? No. Because somebody actually wants to make profit out of it. From the benefit that is accruable to the Nigerians. Nigerians, the common man, not those at the top. And we must say they have a distinction of it.
Yes, okay. So now you mentioned something, you said democracy cannot work. Now, are you saying because of the way it's practiced in Nigeria, you are not comfortable with it? Because democracy is working in other countries. So how can it work in Nigeria?
Yes.
Because that's what we have now.
Actually, democracy in Nigeria, we are not actually practicing democracy in Nigeria.
What are we practicing?
Authoritative democracy. Because we have types of democracy.
Okay.
We have authoritative democracy. We have consensual democracy. And all. These are the type of democracy that is working in Nigeria. Authoritative that I have given you the contract, go and do it that way. It's authority. You obey, or tomorrow I will not give you the contract. That is what is playing out today. That is not the actual democracy that we are talking about in Nigeria today. Then, the actual democracy we are talking about is, we go back to the simple definition which we had in our days in the secondary school of democracy, of the people, for the people, and by the people. Yeah. Let the people have a stake in it.
Okay, thank you. Now, Today's program is still an abridged version because we'll be airing an educational program immediately after these current affairs programs, 60 Minutes Nigeria. So let's just take your closing remarks. Now, on those states, we'll be having this election on Saturday. We've had Edo State, and so many people seem to be very happy with what happened, the way INEC conducted the election. It was peaceful. So what's your advice to the residents of Ondo State, the voters in Ondo State?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
In fact, let me just talk a bit about the Edo.
Okay.
Less about a few
Okay,
seconds.
quick one because of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, I must commend the Edolites for what they did. Everybody went there to actually demonstrate what a true democracy is, that I want my leader. Every one of us go there. We went there to vote for the candidate of our choice. And by the grace of God, the will of the people prevailed. And INEC was neutral. And I want to equally use this same opportunity to advise the Ondo people. Please, on Saturday is your election. Go there and vote your conscience. Don't allow anybody to give you money. Don't collect. Don't collect money. Go there and vote for the candidate of your choice. Okay. The man that you know or the woman that you know that can rule you for the next 4 years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, we've been we've had the comments of Dr. Stanley Edo. He's made very, very wonderful contribution to this topic. We're looking at democracy in Nigeria. We've looked at what has negated against democracy and how democracy can be improved. Well, that's our show for this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's edition of 60 Minutes Nigeria. By the grace of God, next week, we'll be here again to look at another topic. Until then, do have a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.
This is ITV. Certainly the best.
All organisms, even the largest, begin life from a single cell. The cell then grows by dividing into two, wherein each parent cell forms two daughter cells, which mature and further divide to form new cells. The process of cell division is vital to all living organisms. During this process, cell growth takes place, followed by DNA replication and cell division. However, the process must take place in a coordinated manner, so that each cell divides correctly and the genomes in the progeny cells remain intact. The series of events by which a cell duplicates its genome, synthesizes its constituents, and eventually divides to form two daughter cells is known as the cell cycle. Although the process of cell growth is a continuous one, DNA synthesis takes place only during one particular stage in the cell cycle. After DNA synthesis, the replicated chromosomes or the DNA are distributed to the daughter nuclei through a complex series of genetically controlled events during cell division. The duration of a cell cycle varies from one organism to another. A typical eukaryotic cell, like those in human beings, divides once in about every 24 hours, whereas in yeast, division takes place in about 90 minutes. Also, the cell cycle is divided into two basic phases, the interphase and the M phase or the mitosis phase. The interphase is the resting phase during which the cell prepares to divide by undergoing cell growth and DNA replication in an orderly manner. The interphase is subdivided into three phases: the G1 phase or gap 1, S phase or synthesis phase, and G2 phase or gap 2. During the G1 phase or the first growth phase, normal cell functions occur. The cell continues to grow and remains metabolically active, but the DNA doesn't replicate. In the S phase or synthesis phase, the DNA synthesizes or replicates, and the amount of DNA in the cell doubles without any increase in the number of chromosomes. Also, the centriole begins to duplicate in the cytoplasm. Finally, in the G2 phase or gap 2, the cell prepares for mitosis and cell division by synthesizing proteins while the cell continues to grow. Now, the next phase of the cell cycle is the M phase, where actual cell division or mitosis takes place. The M phase begins with nuclear division, which is the division of daughter chromosomes, known as mitosis